Government company. Now, what is a government company? Let's have a look onto its meaning. The meaning says, understand, any company in which at least 51% of the paid up share capital is held by the state government or by the central government or partly jointly by both. Now, what does that mean? Understand, every company has 100% of its paid up share capital. Now, what is paid up share capital? We had learned it in chapter 2. The part of the share capital, the part of the share which is actually paid by the shareholders, that become our paid up share capital. In a rough, I have given you a definition. So, out of that total 100%, suppose my paid up share capital is rupees 10 lakh. So that 10 lakh, out of 10 lakh, if 51%, how much is 51%? 5 lakh 10,000. If at least 5 lakh 10,000 of that full money is held by either state government or it is held either by the central government or it is jointly held by both, then such a company will be called as the government company. Understood? I repeat, any company whose 51% of paid up share capital is held by the central government, by the state government or jointly by both. Now, what is the meaning of jointly? Jointly means, suppose out of 5 lakh 10,000, 3 lakh is held by central government and 2 lakh 10,000 is held by the state government. That way it can also happen. So such a company is called as a government company. Why? Because more than 50%, that is at least 51% of its share, my share is held by the government. So that company automatically becomes a government company. Few examples are given. Let's have a look onto that. Example, Hindustan Machine Tools, Steel Authority of India, etc. Now let's come down to the features. First point says registration. Now, registration means for a government company, registration is important. And under which act it will get itself registered? It will get itself registered under the Companies Act 1956. Okay? Point number 2, separate legal entity. All the government company, they have a separate legal existence. Now, what is separate legal existence? It means that the owner and the business, they both are separate from each other. The business can buy or sell property in its own name. Point number 3 says ownership. Now, who is the owner of a government company? The owner can wholly be a government or partly be the government. Now, wholly means what? Understand that minimum 51% has to be controlled by the government. Now, minimum 51%, maximum is there is no limit. Suppose maximum it has held 100%. Fully 100% of the company, of the paid up share capital is held by the government. Then it is fully held by the government or wholly held by the government. But if it is at least 51%, maybe 60%, 63, 79, 85, then we can say partly it is held by the government. Understood the difference? So the ownership can be fully by the government or partly by the government, but minimum 51% has to be there. Point number 4 says management. What is management? Who are the people managing the government company? See, the government company is managed by the board of directors. Now, who are these board of directors nominated by? These board of directors are nominated by the government and the other shareholders. The management is regulated by the provision of the Companies Act. So, it is controlled by the board of directors, maybe 2 board of directors, 3 board of directors, or whatever number may be. Let's take for example 5. 5 persons, they are nominated by the government, they are chosen by the other shareholders, and they become the board of directors. Now these board of directors, what they do, they manage the government company. But what about the rules and regulations? Rules and regulations will be the rules and regulations of the Companies Act. That rules they will follow, but they will manage as per their decision. Understood? Okay. Moving on to point number 5. Point number 5 says efficient staff. Why efficient staff? Because whoever employees are recruited over here, they are appointed and remunerated as per the rules and regulations. Now rules and regulations of what? Rules and regulations in the Memorandum of Association and Articles of Association. Now what is Memorandum of Association and what is Articles of Association? Remember, while we were doing chapter number 2 and doing about the joint stock company, there we read about the important documents used in formation of a company. That time we got to know that there are 2 very important documents called as the Memorandum of Association and Articles of Association. So whatever rules and regulations are written in those 2 documents, that or according to that, the recruitment, the appointment and the remuneration of the employees are done. Clear? And the last point says financial autonomy. Now what is financial autonomy means? Financial freedom. So the government company can borrow funds from outside. Moreover, it is free to use its revenue for growth, expansion of the company. Like in departmental undertaking, do you remember? There was a control. Control as in the revenue that they earned was directly deposited to the government treasury. They could not use it on their own, isn't it? But over here means in the government company, what happens? Whatever revenue they earn, that can be used by them for the growth, for the expansion of the company. Freely, without asking anyone, without bothering anyone, whatever they want to do with their money, they can do. Generally for the public interest. Understood? So that is all for today. We'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.